gemeinsam organisiert mit APE-AöW und der DWA und ich freue mich, dass das hier stattfindet.
Eine nachhaltige Versorgung ist nämlich, dass es sich um verbesserte
Considering the resident know-how that these water operators have and the benefit.
It's a catchment site divided into 26 marginal sites.
The new financial framework 2014-2020 is under speakers focus on the importance of capacity development, and I want to stress
we are very happy to see that we have now a consensus paper decided upon by the Open Working Group, which contains a dedicated water goal, the goal number 6, between 17 goals altogether. And we do hope that this water goal stays, because the negotiations are now starting and will end in September, when the Sustainable Development Goals will be decided. And we do hope that this consensus paper, which is now the basis for discussions, will not be reopened, so that we do not take the risk to lose on the way the dedicated water goal. What is important yet is that we have very good indicators which are really measuring the targets and the water goal, so that the ambitious goal is not lost underway, and that we also have good indicators not only to measure the access to water and sanitation, but also the other targets, let's say, for example, water reuse and wastewater management. All water operators have a very decisive role to play to bring water to the people. And all around the globe we have about 94% public water operators, and of course some of them are not really efficiently working and not up to standards. So I think you have a very important role in order to exchange knowledge, so that partners in the South can also benefit from your experiences here.
The position of the European Commission is very clear. For us, one of the pillars of development cooperation is the universal access to water and sanitation. So our position could be only one, that we will support strongly in all the fora, all the international fora. We will support the adoption of one specific goal on water in the framework of the discussion for the SDGs. There is no other alternative for us than to have strong commitment and strong political advocacy to sustain this SDG. The role of water operators is very, very important, because it's clear that when we talk about universal access to water, one of the most important means of establishing this is to build partnership. And when we talk about building partnership, we are talking about both public partnership and private-public partnership. Of course, the Commission has a strong preference on the building of public-public partnership, and on this, water operators are very important. We are devolving a lot of funds for capacity building, for training, for technical assistance. And of course, one of the best means to deliver this support is through support to water operators that can, of course, give themselves support to the local authorities. There are a few changes that are very important. The first one is in terms of sector of cooperation. Now there is a very strong accent on energy and on sustainable agriculture. This is the two main areas of intervention in our development cooperation. Concerning water, the important change is that we are not looking only at water in the way of access to drinking water and sanitation, but we are looking also at transboundary water management, water diplomacy, at the nexus between water, energy and agriculture. And also there are other important changes about the financing modality, for example. Before, the European Commission was mainly financing all the projects with, especially on infrastructure, including water infrastructure, with 100% of grants. Now the new modality is that we are trying to blend grants with the loans from the public and private sector to get a leverage effect. So for each euro that we give with a grant, we leverage on average 14 euros from the public and the private sector. And the last, I would say, main element is the involvement of private sector, which is, of course, now I'm not talking only for water here, but there is a strong demand also from the European citizens to work more with the private sector. This, of course, when we come to the water sector, we have to look at how to bring the private sector in. It's a very sensitive issue, and there we are working a lot on reinforce the regulatory framework. For us, the important is the objective, that is to ensure access to drinking water, and this access has to be affordable and sustainable. Then the means to be achieved has to be seen case by case. We give a preference to public-public partnership, but we don't exclude public-private.
Thanks for having me here. The water operator partnerships are very important because the water operators themselves are very important, and they have a very important role to play in enhancing access to water and sanitation. Because simply they give this access to poor sectors of the society. And water operator partnerships, they are an approach to improve access to water and sanitation by enhancing the capacity of these water operators and enhancing the resident capacity in these water operators, and by very cheap and cost-effective partnerships, actually, because they are not for profit in nature, and because they depend on solidarity-based sharing of experience and expertise between water operators, those who have the know-how and who are willing to share this know-how, and those who need this know-how. And it's been working. The practice has been really growing since we started, since 2009, and we are active all over the global south now, and the practice has been growing really exponentially. I can give you a lot of examples if you want, but it is working, and it is helping water operators to enhance their performance and therefore expanding their services to poor sectors of their societies. Now, one important thing is that water operator partnerships are being also used to connect water operators and utilities to the needed financing that is really needed to turn around these water operators. And we are doing this through a phased WAP model that we are starting to use in Africa, in which the original short-term and very cheap, if you want, WAP is used not only to help the operator with the short-term quick wins, if you want, in improving their their performance, but also to develop a medium-term, like 2 to 3 year performance improvement plan, and to help them getting the needed funds to implement these performance improvement plans so that they can be really turned around and become ready to receive the needed investments. The main challenge, to be open about things, the main challenge is the upscale of the practice, because you're definitely right in saying that water operator partnerships, they are non-profit based, they are solidarity based, therefore they need to be funded. Okay, I mean, mentor utilities can volunteer the time of their staff, but they cannot contribute in cash, even in northern countries.